The damage that Johnny sustained is because this piece was directed at a select minority demographic of the population of the world at large. It was not designed to hurt his overall Q rating, which is why it didn't have very much impact on his Q rating, because most of the people don't really care that much about Me Too. But a very small demographic who wields way too much influence in Hollywood and convinces Hollywood this is how everyone thinks, they are the ones it was targeted at, so that they would rile them up and trigger them into screaming at Hollywood, you have to cancel them. And that's why it was particularly damaging to him, more so than an attorney even. I mean, some attorneys would get it if they were in a big firm or something like that. But in general, this is not going to be nearly as damaging to someone as they would be in the environment that Johnny Depp has been accustomed to swimming in for the last 4 decades. And that's why it's not affecting his overall Q rating, because most of the billions of people on the planet don't really care. So it goes down from 31 to 29. No one cares. But you put your own witness on the stand, your own freaking expert, and he paints a portrayal as if, like, I don't know, maybe he lost a little popularity that year. I mean, I can't even pin down whether it was this or the Sun article, but his numbers went down a little bit. Even before cross-examination, you and me, the 7 of us were sitting here, and we're like, what the hell did we just get out of this guy? And not only what the hell did we get out of it, if anything, you might draw something negative. And Alita, you might not recall what you said. We said something someone in my audience said, which is like, maybe if you can show, because I'm thinking like this, best case scenario, they're thinking, here's statistical proof that his numbers went down. We don't care how much it went down, but at least we know for sure it went down, so you have to give him the win. But coming up with the prior expert witness, I'm thinking, after Richard Marx is there, I'm thinking this guy's getting tens of millions of dollars to spend this. The other guy, he lost 13 million. I'm thinking he's getting tens of millions. After he was done with it, I'm thinking, okay, maybe give him a win and he gets a couple $100,000, because it seems like it's not that significant damages. It's really not that significant. So I was like, this is a disaster before cross-examination. And then that cross-examination comes up there, and they're just like butchering. I mean, the guy looked like he wanted to swallow his own chin, and probably did. I mean, it was so terrible. And I'm screaming, like, why is he up there on the stand? Why would you put him up? This sounds like Amber Heard's expert witness that you have up here on the stand. That was so utterly terrible. You called it, Alita. You said one expert too many. Yeah, I mean, they should have just closed on Richard Marx. Boom, we're done. Amber, take your best shot at this point. But they didn't do that. And I was screaming in outrage and so frustrated. And the only positive that came out of it was the defense shooting himself in the foot. You guys were saying Rottenborn did a great job. I think no. I think that was a T-ball. His face, that guy's face was sitting there on a T-ball thing like this. Right up there in his thing for him to just whack it out of the park. And instead he brings up at the end 40 minutes doing great, and then at the end he brings up a graph, which actually I was like, oh, okay, maybe on Resurrect we could bring up this graph. It looks like it's sort of working, negative working going up and positive going down. At least we can show something good. No, but even on Redirect, this rookie attorney working behind Ben Chu has to be told when she's supposed to object and when she should remain silent. She's sitting there, she comes up there. I was like, you know what, ask one question. Just ask one question. This is a simple one question. Let's just end this bloodbath now and end it like this. You say, is it not, in your experience, it's not possible that even a slight dip in Q rating can affect someone's damages by tens of millions of dollars? And then have him say, what? I mean, it's a leading question. You have to ask in a non-leading way. But I fine. You want to be technical. But I'm saying is, and that's it. It's like I don't want to go into anything else. Maybe you go into that graph and say, hey, let's talk about that graph there, because that kind of is the only first thing that everyone could look at and understand. Because everything else he was saying that was supposedly positive, you, me, I'm looking at Alita, I'm looking at Kurt, I'm looking at everyone in this thing, and you're all looking at this saying, I don't know what the hell this graph says. What the hell is it saying that's positive? Like, I want to see a bar graph. Show me a bar graph. He was all the way up here, and now he's all the way down here. That's all we all thought we were going to see. We've got none of that. Anyway, I'm so furious because you basically snatch from the jaws of victory. You snatching a loss. It's like it's like there's no time left on the clock. We're running down. We're holding the ball. That's right. Yeah, we're standing on the 50-yard line here. We got the ball. We got a 5-point lead, and there's 10 seconds left. Instead of just kneeling, it's like, no, let's try a Hail Mary here. It's like, what are you thinking? What's this?
But hold on. Joe,
aggravating.